News at 4.
A spot known for music, fun, and beach vibes may have a new look and location. For decades, Times Square on Fort Myers Beach has been the heart of the island. After Ian, the landmark was wiped out. But more than a year later, they've been able to piece together what was once there. Now, a place less than a mile away is trying to take up the mantle as the epicenter of fun. Hello, I'm Amanda Hall.
And I'm Nicole Gabe in for Russ McCaskey today. Now, that place is a surrounding area of Bayside Park, and the Arches Bayfront has a vision to transform the area just west of the Matanzas Pass Bridge to build the area up and help local businesses. Now, Week News reporter Liz Byro joins us live now on Fort Myers Beach. Liz, are the people who frequent this area behind this potential culture shift?
Nicole, I spent the day getting a consensus, and let me start by saying no one wants to pit the Gulf side against the Bay side. Everyone just wants Fort Myers Beach to thrive, but many people are finding themselves spending more time over here. We have Nervous Nellie's, Snug Harbor, Wahoo Willie's right in front of me, all in a physical building and all still the view of the water. Summer 2022. You pull up to Fort Myers Beach ready for a good time, and you're going to Times Square. You can listen to music, have a nice dinner, some drinks, and all with a beach view.
I always went right on the beach and try all these little restaurants.
We really spent a lot of time down by the pier and the old restaurants along the beach.
Guests came down. Naturally, that way was the way to go. The beach, all the bars on the beach and the pier.
After Ian, that pier is gone. The brick and mortar restaurants replaced with food trucks. No one will argue. Times Square is still a great place to be, but some, including Diane Magnuson, find themselves gravitating down the road, replacing the Gulf view with a view of the bay.
We just came down to see the restaurant, and then when I saw all this and that, it's great. It really is.
Magnuson and her crew are Times Square regulars. Didn't even know this was all here, but like what they see. At least for now.
That's my area that way, if I had a preference. But until they build it, I guess this will be my area.
An opinion echoed by many. Happy to see the Bayside thrive, but believe there's no place like Times Square.
I can't wait until they rebuild it all. And that will still be my favorite place.
We love Fort Myers Beach. Fort Myers Beach is coming back.
Again, throughout the day, opinions were mixed, but overall, everyone just wants to see Fort Myers Beach thrive. They want to see Times Square rebuild and for the pier to come back. Now, speaking of rebuilding, the Bayside has some pretty big plans in the work with Moss Marina's Arches Bayfront. I'll have more on that. Plus, do businesses feel a change in the tide? That's my story, new at 5. Live on Fort Myers Beach, Liz Byro, Wink News.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Breaking news right now at 4. A 6-person jury is now seated in the new trial for the man who was already convicted of shooting an officer. Yosel Rivera was convicted of shooting a Cape Coral police officer 3 times at point-blank range during a 2011 traffic stop. A circuit judge failed to give a jury instructions about whether Rivera knew the victim was a police officer. This is the face of the man who sat before potential jurors in court today. State attorneys and Rivera's defense asked jurors many questions about their background and their biases. Coming up on Wink News at 5, the most important questions that were asked to seat these jurors.
A 10-piece side of ranch, a gun, and some counterfeit bills, all in a Zaxby's order. A DeSoto man was arrested after police found this right here in his order of chicken wings, and it looks to be a few $100s in fake bills. They also found equipment for producing counterfeit money. For the side, a large handgun wrapped in a towel inside of a garbage bag. Brian Chapman now sits in the jail with felony charges for gun possession and also counterfeiting.
We're working to find out if there was a fire detector in this home that burned, killing a mother and her son. This fire was in DeSoto County near Arcadia. Firefighters aren't sure if there were fire detectors inside. They say if there were, it could have saved lives. The mom and her teenage son who died in the fire were Claudia and Abel Castillo. Right now, Claudia's co-workers are working to make sure more people get fire detectors installed in their homes.
We are working to see if anyone will be arrested in a shooting where a 1-year-old was left inside of a car. This is a scene that happened Friday night on Pine Island Road near the Kia dealership. Police say they heard gunshots and darted to the scene and found 3 cars trying to get away. Police got them, stopped, and then detained 2 people. One mentioned getting run off the road. Now, it is unclear in the report which car the 1-year-old was actually in, but the child was not injured and is now with family. There are no arrests either.
A body found in the woods near homes is leaving a community with more questions than answers. We brought you live to the scene at Peachland Boulevard and Guild Street on Friday afternoon. Forensics teams focused the investigation in a section of the woods near a neighbor's fence. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office would only confirm this is a death investigation. They wouldn't release any other information.
All right, it is all eyes on the New Hampshire primary tonight.
Yeah, voting's underway in the second contest in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. Wink News' Campaign Central and Wink News reporter Skylar Henry joins us live in Manchester, New Hampshire. Skylar, have the polls been busy?
Oh, yes, they have, Amanda and Nicole. Good to be with the both of you. 22 delegates up for grabs in this GOP race, and that could prove very important ultimately deciding the nomination later on down the road. The former president looking to widen his gap between him and former Ambassador Nikki Haley, who has been crisscrossing this state trying to fine-tune her message and sway those independent and undecided voters.
Voters streamed to the polls, casting ballots in the first one-on-one contest in the Republican race.
I voted for Trump. I care most about Second Amendment and pretty much staying out of war.
With 22 delegates at stake, former President Donald Trump stopped at a Londonderry polling place. He's predicting a big win here in New Hampshire, a week after his Iowa victory.
There's never been a movement like this, make America great again, in the history of our country.
Polls favor the former president by a wide margin, but Nikki Haley is hoping to cash in with independents and anti-Trump voters. Her supporters say the former UN ambassador has what it takes to be president, especially when it comes to foreign policy.
She understands the intricacies of that and understands that we need to be strong on the world stage. And right now we're perceived as weak.
She just adds a very optimistic energy to the room. And that's who we want to lead our country. Someone who is very positive.
In fact, the results are already in from tiny Dixville Notch. All 6 registered voters cast their ballots for Haley.
I'm not in the prediction business, but I do believe that now that it's a 2-person race, it might be a little closer than the Trump campaign would like.
Campaigning in Hampton, Haley welcomed the early sweep.
You know, right now we'll take whatever we can take. It was certainly a good start. It gave us some good energy and momentum, and I'm grateful to those 6 people.
She says no matter what happens in the Granite State, she'll continue to fight.
And so polls close here in New Hampshire at 8 p.m. on the Democratic side. Should be interesting to pay attention to as well. That's because President Biden's name is not on the ballot because New Hampshire is not compliant with the new guidelines set by the DNC, ultimately having South Carolina come first in the primary process. That's because leaders and President Biden decided that South Carolina better reflects the demographics of the United States. So ultimately, who wins here tonight will truly just be a winner in name only. We're here in New Hampshire. I'm Skylar Henry. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Skylar. Following our governor's lead by endorsing Donald Trump, Laurel Lee, a Republican and the former Secretary of State for Governor DeSantis, said the following: "While I was proud to support my former boss, Ron DeSantis, during his campaign, I have great faith in the leadership and proven track record of President Trump."
A discussion on how to improve traffic in one of the busiest spots in Collier County. Immokalee Road and Vanderbilt Beach Road in North Naples is usually at a standstill. Now a neighborhood group is getting together to implement a 1-year moratorium on construction on Immokalee Road from I-75 eastward to Oil Well Road, and also on Vanderbilt Beach Road from I-75 eastward to its current end. On Wink News at 5 o'clock, we will be live at the meeting as the neighbors try to push this through.
We're waiting to get an update on the yucky water that took over a city's favorite spot. At any point today, we're supposed to find out whether the water at the Cape Yacht Club is safe to go in. The health department warned about high levels of bacteria in that water on Friday. That bacteria can make you sick. They plan to check the area every other week until it clears.
Well, a community teams up to get down and dirty to take down this massive alligator right here. It caused a lot of chaos in the neighborhood, too. This 10-foot gator made a home in the water near Bob White Lane in Bonita Springs. And when the gator got a little too friendly here, some neighbors jumped in and took action, as you can see. Wink News anchor Emma Heaton met with the people that took down the monster.
These guys took the idea of Neighborhood Watch to a whole new level.
But it was exciting, exuberating, I'll tell you. I'd do it again.
I chased them off the bank across the canal, and they stayed on the dock over here, and they caught them with treble hooks and 200-pound fishing line.
Mike Cato, one of 2 brave Bonita Springs neighbors who worked with these FWC gator guys to get this massive 500-pound, 10-foot 9-inch gator.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Out of this Imperial River Canal, to the dock, across the yard, and to the street, using another neighbor's golf cart and gator catching tools.
Bigger than you?
Just looking at the photo, I'd say it's safe to say that, Chuck Rizzo. Another neighbor concerned about the massive creature lurking right behind his home.
When I saw it, I turned around, went back. My wife, little bitty thing, she's like a 100-pounder. She goes, what are you going for? I go, well, do you see the size of that gator? She goes, oh, they won't hurt you.
Rizzo told me it wasn't the size of the gator that was the problem. It was that the giant gator got a little too close for comfort.
Oh, he'd come right up to you.
And not a very nice smile, right?
Mike and Chuck say the gator wasn't mean, but when they say they want more friendly neighbors, this isn't what they mean. So to make sure neighborhood guard dog Cooper and all the kids and kayakers stay safe, neighbors banded together to capture the neighborhood threat.
It's a relief, and it's glad to see where he's got a good home now.
It's what Neighborhood Watch does. Emma Heaton, Wink News.
Wow. Well, don't worry, though. FWC says that the gator was safely transferred to an alligator farm in LaBelle. And they also said that he was told that there will be plenty of lady gators there for that big guy, I guess. So it's gonna be, I guess he'll be pretty happy. And they were saying that he calls it a stud farm.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Those
we
are
know
their
what that
words,
means.
not mine. Yes.
Picture what you will. If you or someone are concerned about a gator, call FWC's Gator Hotline 866-392-4286.
That was a big guy, though. All right, well, a giant piece of land is up for sale, and the people selling it could be in for a big payday. The Lee County School District is looking to pass along nearly 70 acres of land. Why they're trying to sell the land at the same time they hope to expand.
The heart of this team beats from the sidelines with numbers and data from their team manager translating to success on the court. I'm Wink's News Sports reporter Zach Oliveri. The special moment this team manager experienced.
And officially, we did see some highs in the 80s.